have spent the entire day, like, I'm not even saying even the entire day. I spent last night while I was trying to sleep, giddy like it was the day before Christmas, y'all. Because the original guest from I'll Bring Dessert has graciously agreed to come back and join us today. Today, friends, we are making one of my top 3 favorite things to eat of all time. I have never cracked the code on this particular dish, and my friend today is gonna help me crack the code so I can make this whenever I feel like it.
We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it today. Today's the day.
Today is the day. Listen to that. Today is the day. Just as confident and cool. Today is the day.
Today's the day. You know what? You're never going to need to go to another restaurant after this recipe. This recipe, it's tried and true. My kids love it. Everybody loves it. I made the mistakes so that you don't have to make the mistakes. I've botched it. I've done it over and over again, botched it plenty times. But when I finally crack it, I want to see if your expression is the same way mine was when I did for the first time.
I'm sure it will be. I may have to go off camera to do all the celebrating and dancing that I intend to do. Because, like I said, this is one of my top 3 favorite things to eat of all time. What are we making today, Mr. Guest?
We are making jollof rice. It is. I'm still kind of shocked about. I'm not even. I don't know what to say. Your top 3 favorite of all time.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like pressure.
Of all time.
It's almost like
no pressure.
It feels
no
like
pressure. We love. I love jollof rice.
You normally have good. Do you normally have good experience with jollof rice at restaurants?
Eating it, yes. Yeah. Making it, maybe not so much.
I've visited some places and the jollof rice really isn't that good. Really, and that's what encouraged me to do jollof rice for myself because
I love that.
It's expensive. You know, some places will charge you $15 just for a carb, and if they don't do it right, that's $15 down the drain.
Right.
But this way, you can make it in a big batch. You can eat it, pick off of it however you feel.
Exactly. All right. Let me introduce you because I am very excited that you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome back, my very good friend, Hamed Alabi, to I'll Bring Dessert. Welcome to the show, Hamed. Thank you so much for agreeing to come back. I am just beyond honored and thrilled you're here today. How are you?
Good. You know what? It's not even like I've been wanting to come back. It's not even like you had to beg me. Like I've been wanting to get back on since the first time that we did this because it's fun. You know, getting to you off the platforms, getting in the kitchen, seeing you produce delicious food. I mean, you might even have something going here because not everybody can produce food being coached. You know, some people struggle with that. I think it's a testament to your baking ability. You've done this after me. You've done this 5 times, and from what I can see, they've all been hits. You know, you did.
That's very sweet. Chicken. Thank you.
You've done the chicken fingers. You've done the you did rice last week, right?
No, we did vegetable and vegetable and sausage bow tie pasta last week on the last episode. Wow, you've really been watching. Like you are a student of I'll Bring Dessert.
Your guests are so exciting. I mean, you had Alex, you've had Shani. I mean, you know, you've had
Shanika,
my guy.
Yeah.
You've had Shanika. You had Shanika. You've had Chef. Chef was on here.
Yeah.
I'm like, my gosh, I got to make sure I step my game up today.
Your game is right where it needs to be. I am thrilled that you're here. This jollof is going to take just a little while to cook. So we are going to get started right away with our jollof.
All right.
Let me get myself plugged in. Let's turn this on. I'm making it in a Dutch oven. I think that's the way you made it on your YouTube channel.
Yours looks just like mine.
It might be the same one. Mine is a lodge as well.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. The inside of yours looks just like mine.
Oh yeah. Seasoned. Thank you so much.
Put to use.
We love a seasoned Dutch oven.
Yeah, I love it. I love the fact that even with your wok, the last time I was so impressed with how seasoned your wok was. And I've been talking to some people on IG, and people who do Asian inspired meals. And can I just stick with my stainless steel wok, or do I have to get like the ones that they have? And they're like, man, if you really want to do it, you're gonna have to upgrade. I gotta upgrade. So
you gotta upgrade. You gotta get the wok that's going to be with your family forever. So let's talk about you today. Today is all about Hamed. Today is all about jollof. And I already kind of gave the secret away and said that today's entire menu is West African inspired. So tell me what made you want to get this jollof just right.
You know what? Coming up, my father's he's Nigerian, so just set the record straight. Everybody says Nigeria has the best jollof.
Everybody says that. Ghana, everybody says it. Like the people from Ghana say that, and the people from Senegal say that.
You know, and I'm set. Yeah. I'm going to set it up right now.
Oh gosh!
Nigeria produces the best. That's why they call it party.
You're gonna get me locked up by folks. Nope. Thank you so much.
Shani, nobody else speaks about their jollof in the same way that Nigerians do. Everybody else just has a rebuttal, but no one speaks about jollof in the same way that we do. We call it party rice. I mean, I don't think anybody else has a special name for theirs. But me, growing up as a kid, watching so here's the thing. I think I'm the first male in my family that has ever produced jollof rice, at least as far back as I can know. My uncles never made it. My dad, really? I've never seen my dad make it. I've seen my stepmother make it. And hers is pretty good. Hers is really spicy. But coming up as a kid, jollof rice, in my dad's house, you had a choice. You had white rice, and that was primarily the dinner rice. Asian, you had jollof. And it was either on some special occasion at home, where they just switched up the menu.
Right.
Or you went to a party of some sort. I know you know about Nigerian parties. So
I might know a little thing or two about Nigerian parties, but this is not about me.
Yeah.
They're just super fun.
I see
they're just super fun.
They last forever. I see you're getting ready with the oil.
I am.
If it's ready, go ahead and throw that one in there. Go ahead.
All right.
But jollof rice is really special. It's the one that you always want.
Yeah.
It's so full of flavor.
Yes.
Like I said, I've never seen a male produce jollof rice. And like how I told, when we did the Black History Month initiative this year, I made a point to let people know this is traditionally a female produced meal. And you hear about males that produce this dish. I wanted to make mine special. And
I appreciate that. I really, really do.
I think it is. It's special. I've always loved it. My version is a take on family appropriate. So traditional Nigerian jollof rice, it can be spicy. I got kids in the house. They can tolerate it to a bit. But my recipe, I've made mine so that it's family appropriate for kids to eat.
Okay. I have my onions, my diced onions. So what do I need to do? We're going to go ahead and get started.
Yeah,
we're not going to participate in jollof wars today. So what are we doing?
All right, let's go. So if your oil is hot, you can go ahead
and hot. Okay.
Dump that in. You want to fry that for a little bit, just until they get slightly tender.
Got it.
Again, you want to make sure that you cook it through. The taste of raw onion, you just don't want that going in the dish. It'll cook more.
Yeah, and this is a lot of onion.
Yeah,
it's a whole onion.
It's a lot. It's a very aromatic dish. Allium. This is going to be Allium City. So garlic, you got the onion, and that's just going to really add depth of flavor. So
I love
simply put, you got all you have your puree done already too, right?
I do. I do.
Take a look at it. Let's see what that looks like. Okay. So let me see that again. That actually that looks almost edible as is.
Oh, it is. I tasted it, of course.
I know. Oh, I know. And you know what?
Tasted every step, right?
All right. So,
okay, Valerie wants to know if this is purple onion. It is, Valerie. For those of you who want to recreate this recipe, Hamed, tell them where they can find it.
They can find it. Well, after you do it, I mean, I'm sure you're going to put this recipe on your page, but
of course,
you can go to plenty of different places. Okay. So you can go to theprinceeats.com and you can search in blog, and under African inspired, you can see all of my African inspired recipes, including this one. This is the most recent African inspired dish on the blog, so it'll be the first one you see. Or you can go to my YouTube, which is at The Prince Eats, and you can find it.
Because guys, Hamed has his own YouTube where he very graciously shows you how to make everything on his blog. His voice is so soothing. He walks you through everything so patiently. Like you have a voice of somebody much older. I don't know how old you are, but you don't look old. But you have the voice of somebody who's much older and somebody who, is very patiently like walking you through the recipe. There's always some dope beats, some music playing in the background. Like it's a complete sensory experience learning to cook from you.
You know what?
So yes, go follow Hamed at The Prince Eats on YouTube.
I appreciate it. You know what?
No problem.
A lot of people don't know I used to be a DJ. So doing radio, you try to balance how to mellow out your voice. And I don't think I've ever lost that. Just being cool, calm, collected. That's me. That's who I am. So I'm glad you appreciate the videos.
See, we make a good friendship team because I am always going to be the hot mess. I'm always going to be like the amped up, maybe way too excitable. Always, what is that? Like a little kid person in this friendship. All right, my onions look great. What do I need to do next?
Okay, so the heat should be on medium. So you can go ahead and dump in. You got your seasonings, right?
I do. I have my seasonings right here.
Yeah. So let's start.
Do you want my bay leaf in now?
No. Don't put it in now. Let's get the curry going first. You got everything dumped in one bowl?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, dump it in.
Okay.
How's the oil look like in the pan?
Oh, the oil looks great. I may have used a little more. I did. With savory, I tend not to measure nearly as carefully as I do when I'm baking.
Oh, that's fine.
So you saw me just eyeball everything.
So
spices are in.
Yeah, so we want to get that curry going. We gotta, activate that curry. So we want to get that going, just for about.
I love this smell.
It smells. That's probably one of the most precious parts of this recipe, smelling the dish, because that really gives you confidence that it's going to be a really good product at the end of this, and feel free to taste test as you go. So you want to cook that for just about a minute or two.
Okay, and tell the people what's in the spice mix.
So we have dark chili powder. We have you're using habanero, right? You can also so that's in the puree. So just the spice itself, you have the traditional thyme, oregano. We're going to be using white pepper powder. That's the one that you're probably smelling right now. Dark chili powder.
Friends, the smell. That curry is coming straight through.
All right.
Okay, what's next?
Okay. So we got all of that done, and normally that's about 1 to 2 minutes. So what other ingredients do you have?
I have my paste. I have my rice. It's all rinsed. It's all set.
Okay, so let's go with that paste.
And you want me to use the whole can, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going like me, and you're fixing a huge pot, so throw that in there.
Oh yeah.
So the tomato paste, this is going to add the depth of flavor without really having so much of the tomato liquid that you would get just having a bunch of tomatoes. So this really gives you that tomatoey depth of flavor. It also adds the color. Like when you see jollof rice, like the tomato paste is what's going to really give it that color.
Is tomato paste a traditional ingredient in jollof, and is palm oil a traditional ingredient in jollof?
What oil did you say?
Palm.
Yeah, you know what? I was talking to one of my guy friends, and we were talking about palm oil, and I said, "Man, you got to know what you're doing when you use palm oil.
Why?
It's potent. I mean, you really got to know what you're doing. I haven't gotten to that part yet where I'm good with palm oil. Plus, it's like probably the most unhealthy oil. So
yeah, it's pretty controversial, but I know it's a traditional ingredient. So
yeah,
I feel like you have to like balance, right?
Yeah. But you know what? Also, you can't find palm oil everywhere. I tell people, with my jollof rice recipe, I try to source ingredients that I know people can get from their local grocery store.
Right.
Like Poblano. Did you use Poblano pepper?
I did. Can we just talk about how red this is?
Yeah.
I haven't even added the stew yet.
Yeah. So is the tomato paste, is it loose?
Yes, it's nice and loose.
Okay. Yeah.
So what do I need to do now?
Go ahead and put in that paste.
Ooh, okay. Just going right in.
Yep.
All righty. We are in.
How's the oil look?
The oil's a little low. Do you want me to add some more?
You want to be able to fry that. So if it's not, we're not going to fry it for long because you already roasted that stuff.
Right.
So just to give you an idea, if you did not roast that, like some jollof rice recipes, they just simply blend the tomatoes. They blend the ingredients and they don't roast it. Then they would have to fry it because they're raw. But when you roast them, you're cooking them. So you just want to fry it long enough so that it's fully incorporated.
Okay. Lux Design has a question for you. Actually, and Valerie has a question for you. And Valerie said, Shani, you got me smelling. LOL. I know. It smells so good in here. So good. So Valerie said, can you use olive oil with this recipe?
Yes, of course you can. But here's the thing about olive oil. You have to be very careful with olive oil because it literally has such a low smoke point. So I typically go for vegetable oil or avocado. But again, I use vegetable oil for my recipe, and I assume that's what you
yes, that's what I have today.
Yeah, it burns.
I would have used avocado oil, but you said vegetable oil.
Yeah, vegetable. Okay, we got that.
So what next?
Throw the rice in there.
Ooh, okay. Let me grab it.
Yeah, you got the rice. How many cups of rice do you have?
I have 3 cups of rice, chef.
Okay.
All righty. 3
Go ahead
cups
and put that
of rinsed rice.
As you can see, the theme.
Straight in.
Yeah, the theme is to fry until it's time to boil or let the rice steam. So and here's a good thing about this recipe. I also like to give some history.
Please, I want to hear all the history. And I also want to hear what inspired you. I know you said your father's from Nigeria, but what inspired you to want to get into cooking like this?
You know what? I've always been impressed. I think when you cook for someone, that's probably one of the few very genuine and loving ways that you can show respect.
Absolutely.
Nigerian culture is all about respect. And when people prepare food, they do it in ways where they can demonstrate, they really can show respect. You know, they prepare the food, they can spend, you know, for some gatherings, they can spend 1 or 2 days preparing food just for one event. Like that's respect.
That's like Thanksgiving.
It's like Thanksgiving, but every day in that culture. You know, I really enjoy. There we go. So pour in that chicken. After a couple minutes, you can go ahead and pour in that stock.
Okay.
But really, I have a family of 5 kids. You know, I always talk to you about my kids.
Yeah. And it is very sweet to hear him talk about his kids, Fran.
I just made a conscious decision a few years ago. I said, you know what? If my kids are going to be eating in this house, I might as well give them a worthwhile experience. You know, I keep watching my mom cook, watching my dad cook, watching my stepmother cook. And I always told myself, you know, I wanted to be the guy that cooked. I cook most of the meals in the house, and I'm a prideful person. So I have this saying, and I mentioned it. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All of it.
So you want to pour in just enough so that it covers just above the surface of the rice. So smooth that out, pat that out, and if it covers, okay. It looks like it's covering just about. Does it look like that?
Okay, I'm going to add just a little bit more because I know you said you do not want to add too much.
No, don't add too much because then it's going to
we're covered.
But keep that to the side because as we go through this cooking process, you might have to add more. So bring that to a simmer. Let that come to a simmer first. So here's the fun thing about jollof rice. You're really not going to be cooking it under oppressive heat. Once you're going to cover it with that foil, and once you cover it with the foil, you're going to put it off to a low setting. Okay. And the steam is what's going to cook the rice. So the residual heat and the steam from the active cooking process is what's going to cook that rice.
Ooh, I can't, waiting for this is going to be the hard part. I'm just going to let you know. We are bubbling a little bit. Can I cover this?
Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. So I want to put this on low heat, you said?
Yep, low heat.
All right. Okay, got that. And you said, oh, what about my bay leaves?
Yeah, throw that in there.
Okay. Can't forget bay leaves. 2 and 3.
No. Go ahead and mix in that bay leaf. Go ahead and mix it in. Let's make sure you pick it out at the end.
Yes. I have made that mistake before. Haven't hated making that mistake, but I've definitely made that mistake before. Yeah. There's a question about what kind of paste is that? Can you answer that for Lux Design Co.?
Just pick up any paste, any tomato paste. I find anyone that's cheap. So
I think they're talking about what's in the stew.
Oh, what's in the paste? Okay.
Yes.
Duh, right?
Stew.
Duh. Where am I today? So
you're here on I'll Bring Dessert.
So we got garlic, we have red pepper, tomato, poblano pepper, and red onion. And
habanero.
Honestly, and what's that?
Habanero, ginger, garlic.
Habanero, yep, ginger. And I tell people the traditional jollof rice recipe, you're supposed to use Scotch Bonnet. That's not something that you can always find at a grocery store. You can sometimes find it at your local international store. But this is actually what I was going to get to earlier. You know, not everybody feels confident going into an international store. I don't. I've done it all my life. If you have access to an international store, go spend some money with them because they literally have so many fine groceries that you will never find in your local grocery store. I'm talking about seafood, fresh produce.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes I go to the international market just to get the tomatoes and red peppers I need. They're always fresh.
Or the plantanos. Yes.
Or the plantain. They're always going to be ripe. I encourage people to do it.
So let's get back to this rice. Am I ready to stir? I have a timer that's got about 45 seconds left on it. But let's
check.
see. Let's give it a quick stir, shall we?
Uh-huh.
I'm telling you, the way this is tickling my nose, like I just want to eat it right now. All right.
And
so I'm stirring from the bottom.
And that actually looks pretty good. There's a lot of moisture that's
There is.
You're going to do it. I think you're going to do it. I think you're going to do it because right now it looks pretty good. You know, one thing I should have told you to do is just taste test it for the salt level, but you can do that later.
I mean, I can do it now.
The kernels of the rice is probably still hard, so you don't want to do it right now.
Okay, joy killer.
So
I'm stirring from the bottom, sir.
Yeah, so once you
all of it up off of the bottom.
Yeah, once you've got everything off the bottom, you can go ahead and cover it again. You don't want a
And
lot.
how long am I cooking it this time?
Give it another 20.
Okay.
How did it feel?
It feels good. I mean, there is quite a bit of liquid. Do you want me to turn my heat up just a little bit? I'm on low heat.
Yeah,
and I thought you wanted me to go low and slow.
Yeah, it's supposed to be on low. So like I said,
okay,
you got a sense that a lot of the heat dissipated, a lot of the moisture evaporated from the last time that it was open. You got that right?
I did, yes.
So
because it wasn't as covered with liquid, you know. There was and the rice grains were a little bit bigger.
Yeah,
so that's what I was looking for.
Yeah, so just so that your audience knows, this part of the jollof rice cooking process takes anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour, just cooking the rice, because it's the steam, the residual heat that is going to cook the rice.
And Hamed has agreed to stay with me while I make this.
I'll be here the entire time. So we're going to give this about another 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
And we'll stir it again. By that time, there will be a lot of progress. That'll be 40 minutes that have elapsed, and you'll really start to see the rice falling apart. Normally, I only stir it 3 times.
Okay.
So that'll be 20, 40, and then maybe around the 50-minute mark, 55-minute mark will generally be the last time that I will stir. My requirement for jollof rice, it has to be flavorful. It has to be somewhat close in proximity to al dente, and it can't be too spicy. And that's everything.
Gosh.
That's everything I try. That's everything I try to accomplish with this recipe. Have you ever had jollof rice where it was just too spicy and you couldn't appreciate it?
What is this thing you're talking about? I'm not familiar with that.
I'm telling you.
Too spicy, you said? Is that a thing?
I'm telling you. Jamaicans, they say they got their spicy food, right? Indian, my Indian brothers and sisters, they say they spicy food. I've had some jollof rice that was inedible because it was just
seriously, inedible
because it was just way too much heat, and you got to have the appropriate amount. You got to have the appropriate ratio of heat to flavor. Any imbalance, and you lose appreciation for the dish. And if the jollof rice is too spicy, you're not going to taste those flavors. And the way I develop these flavors is meant for you to appreciate it. We got the poblano in there. We got the garlic, and heat is the ginger, and heat.
We're talking about it, and I just want to eat. I just want to eat. Okay, focus, Shani. Focus.
If you look at my recipes, all of my videos where I showcase or introduce seasonings, I encourage people, if you are using like you said, garlic powder, onion powder, any combination of seasonings, go for low salt. Go for low
Mm-hmm.
salt because if you're adding salt, again, you can sometimes lose track of how much salt
Right.
is in
Oh
it
yeah.
if you're not measuring. I typically always go for combination seasonings or all-purpose seasonings that
Mm-hmm.
have salt. I like to add my own salt
Right.
because here's another thing. Everyone doesn't use pure salt. I
Right.
use
That's
kosher salt,
true.
and kosher salt is like a 3-to-1. So for every 3 or so tablespoons of regular salt, kosher salt. I'm sorry, for every 1 tablespoon of
Mm-hmm.
you know, you can use 2 to 3 tablespoons of kosher salt.
Right, because the grains are so much larger, so you're
Yeah.
not getting nearly as much.
Some tips: if you're ever in the DMV, if you don't feel like um, making jollof rice on yourself, like I said, Jadeem
Uh-huh.
at Greenbelt Mall, they have a really good jollof rice. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Kingsway and Laurel has a really good jollof rice.
Kingsway?
Kingsway,
Okay, in Laurel.
Kingsway and Laurel.
Okay, I
Uh,
love it. We will make sure that we link all of these recommendations in the comments down
you know
below
what?
or in the description below. Sorry.
My
Hmm.
people gotta do a little bit better with
Mm,
their social media presence. You know, Nigerians aren't good with at least the older ones aren't too good with social media. So I
mm.
don't think they have a really good social media presence.
Oh no. Well, we'll do our best to pump them up. At least if they have a website, we will link the website below so that
Yeah.
we can, hopefully people who are in the DMV who don't want to go through this process of making jollof will be able to go find really good jollof
No,
because
absolutely.
it is literally one of my top three favorite things to eat. You have given me the tools to make it in my own kitchen, and you've walked me through it very, very patiently, I might add.
What are the other two? What are the other two top meals?
So my top meal of all time, is my mommy's spaghetti.
Okay.
I used to look forward to that all year. Like anytime she made it, she never had a problem with me coming in for dinner. She never had a problem with me staying local because, when we were kids, we'd be off somewhere because the instruction was to go outside. It wasn't to stay anywhere close to the house,
Mm,
go outside. Um, and then my other one was also my mother's. So my mother made this tremendous Thanksgiving dinner every year.
mm,
And it was a traditional Thanksgiving dinner, but it was the turkey. It was never dry. Like I
mm,
didn't know anything about dry turkey until I got older. Oh,
mm,
turkey can be dry.
mm,
She made a beautiful turkey. She made the yams, the yams, the
mm.
greens, like she made all of that stuff. And so when I would have that, I knew that that was kind of the entree into the holidays for me.
Mm.
Can I?
Yeah, go for it. Let's see. It's looking good. It's looking good.
Oh my goodness. It's so much. Ooh, ooh, look at that.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Almost.
I
That
think we
seems like
are.
a cruel joke.
How's it feel to
Almost? We're
you?
not there yet?
How's it?
I
How's
have
it?
to taste it.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, you're
I
going
have
back
to
for the
taste.
bowl again.
Of course. Is there another way to taste food? Hmm. This is making me so incredibly happy. Mm.
Man, now I wish I would have made a batch. I think next
You
time
could have made it with me.
yeah, I think that's what I want to do next time.
Next
Yeah,
time you come on.
yeah, because
So is that you offering to come back on?
hey, I like I said, I will be here anytime I'm available, and
Hmm.
anytime I can share the space with you, I'll do it
Awesome. So how much longer do I have to give this, Hamed?
until you're comfortable. I mean, typically,
You're about to see a very bratty side of me. Ooh.
I typically when the rice falls apart is when I typically like to do it. Some people like to have their jollof rice that way, but once it gets to a texture that you're comfortable with, you're good. You're good to go.
Well, I'm just going to test it one more time. Maybe a couple more times because I do have a scoop in here. I don't like to waste food. This is not right. You are not right for giving me this power.
It's good.
Like, I can't use this power for good. I'm going to use this power.
I think it's good. I think it's good. I think it's good as is.
I'm going to give it a couple more minutes to soften up that rice just a bit. Okay. While we're waiting for it, I have to bring dessert, right?
I'm excited about this.
There it is.
It's so delicious.
It's my rice pudding. So I call it my southern rice pudding. See? And you can see my layers of cherries right in there. And then it's topped with some more gorgeous cherries.
This is torture.
Torture? The recipe is already on my site, sir.
Who's that serving for? Who's eating that one?
Oh, that's for me.
Oh, okay. Of course.
That's for me. You can actually find this recipe on my website, beginwithbutter.com. Just go straight to the search function and you will be able to just type in rice pudding and it'll take you straight to the recipe. Again, in that recipe, I do make bones about, oh my gosh, guys, time is an ingredient. You have to give things proper time so that they can finish. And this rice pudding is no different. For my rice pudding, I chose arborio rice, which is traditionally used in risotto. Oh, Alexis Zanko said headed there now. Arborio is traditionally used in risotto. It's known for being just a very creamy, dreamy rice. It's a creamy, dreamy grain. And it's very appropriate for this rice pudding. For those of you who want to see if I do consume the things that I make. Cheers. We're going to have a little dessert. Oh, I'm spilling. We're going to have a little dessert. Cheers, Hamed.
I love those brandy cherries. They look so good.
Oh my gosh. The way the smoothness of the cherries, because once they're cooked down, the smoothness of the cherries and the little bit of acid in the cherries, the way it hits that arborio grain, the smoothness, like just the richness of that grain.
Almost creamy.
It's just perfect. Yeah. It is actually very creamy. Boy. I have looked forward to this for a long time.
Yeah, don't forget to take out the bay leaves.
Got all of them out. All 3 of them.
I made the mistake before of forgetting that they were there. And, I had to pick them out later.
Lord, we thank you for this food we are about to consume. Whew.
Go for it.
Oh my God. Oh my God. The love I have for this rice right now is like, the love I have for this rice is not real.
Good. I'm glad you like it. Now you can make it at your next family function, and you can tell them you can tell them that you got to connect.
But I really appreciate you being here, Hamed. You were the first guest to come on, and I will never forget that. Your support.
Problem.
Like when Hamed supports you, y'all, you feel supported.
No problem at all. Like I said, it's an honor for me to share space and the fact that you have me on, it's I feel honored because people really do look up to you,
Oh,
in in the food space and in the baking space, and the fact that you're genuine. I tell you all the time, I'm looking for genuine connections,
hmm
people, and from the jump, you've always exercised, the utmost respect, generosity, and just comforting friendship, and professional. And I
I
really,
still have food in my mouth. I'm so professional.
so I appreciate the friendship, the advice you give, and just really having always being able to connect on a personal level about things like
hmm
family. So as many times as you'll invite me, I'll be back.
Don't forget you said that.
I Hey, I'm true to my word. Like I said,
I know you are,
I'm
and
a
I
true to my
super
word.
appreciate it.
This is
I
fun.
it's
This,
fun for me. It's
this is
fun for
fun.
me to get on here and make incredible food. Hello. But also to just be able to connect with the people in this community who
Mhm,
I have real connections with, like in real life. And
mhm.
I just appreciate you being here.
I
So,
appreciate it.
friends, it's been a marathon. It's absolutely, absolutely, absolutely been worth it today. I really appreciate you for hanging on and hanging out with us today in my kitchen and Hamad's house. And I will see you all on the next episode of I'll Bring Dessert.